threat. Because threats don't mean shit to us. Y'all been threatening us since Birmingham. I ain't seen shit. Well, it's July the 4th. And all you scary ass Negroes that pass that shit around, look at what the fuck you did. You made blacks come out. I don't see no white militia. So to the boogie boys, the 3%ers, and all the rest of you scared ass rednecks, we here. Where the fuck you at? We in your house. Let's go. NFAC, motherfucker. NFAC.
Cut of that NFAC, mother.
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. You know what he reminds me of? Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the boogie boy?
I actually have no clue.
Okay. Didn't know if it was just something I just,
Yeah, it's probably like
ignorant
some
to.
like a racist group or something like that. I don't know.
Probably. The boogie boy? What,
Boogie
like the
boy
boogie
and
man?
the 3%ers or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Okay.
Yeah. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Human. You feel me? We are back in these podcast streets.
Yeah.
All right. With the kind of quarantine. All right. It's like a 80% quarantine. No. 80% free, 20% quarantine.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Even the freedom is kind of quarantined.
Yeah.
It should be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. It should.
No. Yeah. It looks like an episode of like Outbreak Monkey or something like that.
I know.
That's how it looks. The stuff is so crazy right now that I was driving home and the tornado siren started going off, and I thought it was the
that
end
was a test.
I know. I thought it was the end of everything. I had to pause and like, oh, okay, it's the first Monday of the month. We're good. All right.
Like, fuck. Now it's really happening.
Yeah, like I was just like, okay, like at least I'm already in the car. Like I don't have to worry about.
Depending on what it is, there could be nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just drive into a sewer or something like that. I don't know.
Gross.
Try to fit my car into the sewer.
Shrink it down.
Yeah. I think I had already gotten gas, so.
So you were good to go for a while.
Yeah, I could at least get to Kansas City and be like half a tank. So, shout out to Acura. You guys are, Acura and Honda, because Acura and Honda are the same thing.
Is your car fixed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I thought so, but.
Yeah. It cost me a grip. Cost me a grip, but it was all good because God blessed me to have it. So
what is wrong? What was wrong with it this time?
I needed a new starter.
Oh, for the love.
I know, right?
It's always something kind of dumb that seems more complicated than it is.
Like last time, though, remember I spent so much time like switching out so many different parts.
Yep.
And found out I literally only needed to bleed my brakes, which I actually did as well. I just guess I didn't do it well enough.
Gotcha.
But this time it was just sitting for a minute. I was just like, I'm gonna just go ahead and take the Firestone. I'm not gonna mess with it.
Mm-mm.
And
but now it's
they
good.
got it to me. Yeah, I'm all good, man.
Hope it doesn't do anything else.
Hopefully.
Because I don't know what its problem is.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in today. We are about to jump into a lot of it's kind of controversial right now. It's pretty controversial.
I think it always is. Don't you?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. There's a divide.
There's definitely a divide.
Yeah.
I mean, if the United States is anything right now, it's definitely divided. I mean, the word liberal and like right wing are reminiscent of like Confederate and Union. Like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, it's getting crazy out here.
I was gonna say it's getting nutty. Get on that.
So I just want to let y'all know that as always, we ain't holding back. We ain't holding jokes. These jokes gonna get said, and you gonna deal with it.
Yep.
All right. The doors of the church are now open, and that has been your disclaimer. Amen and amen again.
This is the church. Wow. I don't know what kind of church we are. But we are. Our doors are open. Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Welcome. Okay.
And once again, we're unapologetically human.
And we are awesome.
I'm really trying to think about what I was about to say. Like I'm, just trying to.
Well, you gave a disclaimer. That's
glaze
great.
over.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah. That's what it was, man, guys. Today, and there's so much going on already. But we definitely would like to give a big shout out to our friends over at Greenwood District.
Yep.
Y'all definitely go support Greenwood District. Hit them up at greenwooddistrict.com. If you like supporting Black businesses, more than that, if you like supporting a brand with a message, a conscious brand, all right, Greenwood District is the one for you. Not shying away from social injustices and topics of that nature, but diving into them and making them part of the DNA, the dinner of the, of the business.
You should be the guy on Jurassic Park who takes them on the tour, Mr. DNA.
Oh, man. Definitely support Greenwood District, and you do that by doing this. All right. Go to greenwooddistrict.com. That is Greenwood, GRR. Wow.
Whoa, that was horrible.
I know, right?
What? Just have them go to our website because the link is there.
End of discussion. Hit up youhumanpodcast.com. Support
Scroll down
at once. All right. Scroll on down.
You'll see
Find the Greenwood District little tab joint.
Yep.
Yep. Then at checkout, use code YouHuman. All right. Make sure you use that discount code. That is you as in the letter U, and then human, HUMAN. All right. My spelling has been off today, but I got that one first time.
That's right. And the code is on our website too. And just in case you forget, but I don't know how you could, but you might. So.
Yeah, I don't know how. It's simple. Our branding is fantastic. Their website, YouHuman Podcast, social media and stuff, YouHuman Podcast. Whatever you want for unapologetically human, it's just gonna be under YouHuman. Come on now. It's fantastic.
Yeah, look at this.
We got stickers. All right. We got white people. We got Black people. We just out here doing it big in these tense streets.
That's right. And we're gonna have more merch soon.
Yes.
Once we finalize all that.
Indeed. What was that? We got beeps going.
Beepity beeps. Beepity bop bop. That's what it was.
Nevertheless, though, yes, as already stated, it is wild out here in these streets.
Lots of crazy people.
Yeah, when we were in LA, this guy it was me, Fred, and my cousin. He was like, "Hey, are you guys from UCLA?" And we were like, "Nah." And then he was like, "Oh, well, are you?" And the guy sitting next to him stopped him. He was like, "They're protesters," and he just looked away. And we was like, "Yo, what? Why we gotta be? We just here in LA, just trying to get some food and have a good time."
Were they Black?
They were white, but this guy was definitely a fortune teller because we did go and protest. We were driving and there was a protest going on. We was like, "Y'all want to go?" And we was like, "Might as well.
Let's check it out."
Yeah, we went and got to protesting, and we got some great pictures, guys.
I saw one of your pictures.
Yeah, definitely hit up our Instagram, YouHuman Podcast, Facebook, YouHuman Podcast, and our Twitter, YouHuman Podcast. Look out for that Food for Thought Friday. All right. Just a sad side tidbit, but yeah, man, stuff is going all types of awry in the streets.
Yes. If you never could tell who was on like the right side or the side you feel is right, now is the time. Yeah. They're all just open book.
Yeah.
Read my pages, because
if there's anything that Donald Trump has done, it's just expose systematic racism at its finest.
And the amount of assholes in the world.
Yeah. such as he. Donald Trump looks like 2 eyes in a butthole. Like,
listen to our last episode.
Yeah.
Dust bunnies for Donald Trump. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Oh man. But guys, I don't know if you've seen this video or not already. But there is a video of a white woman. I don't know her name. Let's call her Sarah.
Karen.
So Karen? You want to call her Karen?
Well,
call her Karen.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Just call her Karen.
I'm sick of saying the word Karen though. I've
call her Cathy.
Cathy. I like it.
That's perfect.
All right. So Cathy, she kind of looks like a Cathy. Not gonna fake it to you.
She does.
So there was, I believe, 2 black women, a mother and daughter, I believe, and they were coming out of like a Chipotle or something like that. Yeah. And the man and the woman, the white woman,
Cathy,
and let's call her husband Craig. So Cathy and Craig, they are walking to their car and arguing with the black mother and daughter, and they're like going at it. I don't know particularly what happened. I think somebody might like push somebody.
Or like, didn't somebody just accidentally like bump into somebody? And
yeah,
they just took it way too far.
Yeah, it was something like that. It started off like really just like basic level, right. Something that didn't have to escalate the way it did, right?
Right.
So then they're going back to the car. And they started calling like the white woman racist and stuff like that. She was like I'm not racist. I'm not racist. Like I don't support anything that's going on and stuff like that. She's just like that's not what it is. Because it's a 2-part video. There's 2 videos. And so in the main video that would have been swirling around, you just saw the white woman with a gun in her hand, aiming it at the 2 black women. And the black women are like, yo, like what? Like you pulled a. This is the part that I was so weak. A gun? You pulled a gun out? I was so weak. You pulled a gun out?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It had me on the floor, and then like people started to kind of like notice, and like there were people was like call the cops and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the Cathy was like, back the fuck up. Like, freaking out. You would think that the 2 women were like trying to like carjack her.
Yeah, it escalated really quickly. Here's what happened in between time. So from the door of Chipotle to the car where the lady pulled the gun out, there was a lot of arguing. There was threats and stuff like that. They got to the car. The Cathy and Craig got in the car. Craig backs up and hits one of the black women.
I did not see that part.
Yeah, he hit one of the black, and not like hit her like full speed, but like he hit her enough to like make her stumble. I mean, like getting hit by a car in general is just like, oh nigga, like, but like she got hit like enough for her to like, because he pulled back kind of like.
So he didn't know that they were behind him because he didn't look, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to run into her. But he did. Nevertheless, he did. And if you didn't mean to hit me with the car or you did, either way, we're gonna have an issue. So he hits one of the black women, and then like that takes the situation like 7 notches higher. It went from like a 5 to a 13. Like it went high. And then the white woman pulls the gun out and she's just like, yo, get back. Me and man, they've already discussed that if I need the F word said this episode, that she'll do it. Sure. And so like the lady had the gun in her hand and she's like, yo, back the
fuck
up.
You're supposed to say the other words. I just say fuck. Try it again.
She said back the
fuck
up.
There you go.
That video went around so quickly. Tony Baker was talking about it. He was like, yo, he was like, I understand, like, people, everything going on right now, and just like the severity of just where we're at as a country, as black people, as people in general, we're just not in a good spot. But he was like,
right.
He was like, I don't know if she was wrong for pulling the gun out.
Yes.
He was saying like, because he was like the threats that the women were making were like real, like they were prevalent, like they was hitting home, and
see, I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, in the first video, like they were like everybody in the situation was very like belligerent, because the guy was arguing too, like he was like going off on them and like calling them and stuff like that. Like it was a very tense situation already.
Did they use the N-word?
No, nobody ever said the N-word or anything like that. It was just like legitimately just like people just going at it, no racial. I didn't see any racial, there could have been some underlying things, but I didn't see anything racial in the videos. I might have missed something. I don't think I did though. But Tony Baker was saying like he didn't think that she was wrong. He was like, when is the right time to pull your gun out? Is it once they hit you, or is it when they're threatening you? And I was like, that's a good point. It's a good point. Like,
my point kind of is like, well, why do you need the gun anyway? I don't know. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Like let's leave the guns at home, guys. We'll see.
We'll talk about that in a second.
We will.
Also, there was there's another video swirling around of a group called the NFAC. All right. And if you don't know what the NFAC is, Mandy, would you be kind enough to read that that name?
They're the Not Fucking Around Coalition. I want to be in that one. That was funny.
So the NFAC is a group of, from what I saw, I only saw black men. There may be black women in it as well, but I only saw black men. So I'm going to say black men.
Yeah, it looked like it was just black men.
Yeah. So it's a huge group of black men armed to the T. All right.
I mean, they look like they're in the army.
Yeah. And that's the thing there. These are all they were all said to be like army trained, like shooters.
Ooh.
And so they were actually in Atlanta at Stone Mountain. If you don't know what Stone Mountain is, it's like a very large monument mountain thing in Atlanta, like right outside Atlanta.
Monument mountain thing.
Yeah, because I mean it's just like a big rock. Like it's not really like a mountain, but I mean a monument, but they kind of like made it. Anyway, so
a special rock.
Yeah. Okay. It's like white people's special stone. If you're racist and you're white, it's like this is my special stone. So Stone Mountain in Georgia, right outside Atlanta. This was like the rebirthing, quote unquote, of the KKK in like 2016, 2012.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they went there because there have been a lot of threats from white people saying like on July 4th, we killing black people. And so they pulled up to the place where they, where KKK like be meeting and stuff like that with guns, like, yo, like y'all said y'all was gonna be killing us, like where you at? And that was precisely what you heard at the beginning of this episode. Right. The NFAC is exactly what you heard at the beginning of this episode. They were not effing around. All right. No. They're not here for the games. They are here to participate in
video game
of
conflicts.
Video game conflicts, pretty much.
Yes. Ay.
No, yeah, they pulled up strong to that mug, and it was I would say it was over 200 people. It
looked like an army. I mean, 100%.
Yeah. And I mean they had like these weren't like pistols. It's like these were like
huge
M4s and stuff like that. Like these were real guns.
They were big ass guns.
Yeah.
One of them, I was like, is that an actual gun? It looked like something that like one of the kids, like stormtroopers would have or something, but like, in a large form. I was like, I don't like that.
No, yeah.
Okay.
They were there.
I do have a question. So, I'm sure this group is like a huge problem for tons of people. And I'm, I know Black Lives Matter is misconstrued and seen as such a problem all the time. Yeah. How come the KKK can have a place where they meet since for the last 4 years, but that's not a problem.
Yeah, that's part of the, because there's another, I don't know if it was the NFAC, but there was another group that was out like with guns protecting protesters. And like that's their whole thing, is like, it's like, yo, so this is not the same thing as the Black Panthers. People have been thinking this is the Black Panthers. It's not the Black Panthers. This is the NFAC. Two completely different things.
Yeah.
So like the Black Panthers were dismantled by the government. And they were deemed a terrorist organization. Black Panthers were only there to protect Black people. They weren't even like seeking out trouble.
Right.
They let trouble come to them and they dealt with it. They were for the community. They fed the community. Like they were for the betterment of Black people, right?
Right.
Government deemed them a terrorist organization, shut them down. They weren't out here killing people. KKK lynching Black people, lynching like anybody that not white, pretty much. Going into areas and like just burning just all the big things, the Black Wall Street, the East St. Louis race riots, all those types of things. The KKK was definitely involved. There's no doubt in my mind that
Absolutely.
they didn't head it off for real.
But that's not a problem. Like the government's not going to dismantle them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They was like we always talk about it like on Twitter and stuff like that. It'd be like, yo, the KKK is still around, but you shut the Black Panthers down. You deem Black Lives Matter to be racist. When Black people protest, you just don't even like pay attention. You just write them off as looters and just violent and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now people are out here with guns. Like, yo, you said you was gonna kill us. Okay. So now what's the answer? Now, like, because I know white people are just gonna be like, oh, they're just violent Black people. They're just trying to. No. At the beginning of the video, he said threat meet counter threat. Flat out. Threat meet counter. You threatened us? Cool. We're gonna pull up. That's exactly his attitude. You threatened us? We there. Bet.
He was not fucking around. Obviously.
The coalition.
I mean, if I was on the other side, I would have been like, oh, no. I gotta go. Like that's not a joke. He was like, okay, here we are, motherfucker.
I personally, I didn't necessarily like it or nothing. I can't say I liked it, but I appreciated the fact that they was organized and they was ready. Mm-hmm. Like it was like okay, like you said you're gonna pull up and just okay, cool, okay, and we're gonna pull up and be organized. We're gonna pull up and be ready. Like we're not gonna just like it's not going. We're not even gonna look like we might be unorganized on the inside or something like that. But nah, my nigga, like we gonna pull up in lines, armed, because
big time.
I mean, like white people can have all types of guns. There was two lawyers in St. Louis. People were protesting peacefully. Mm-hmm. The wife had a pistol. The husband had an assault rifle.
Oh, you're talking about those freaky people in Central West End?
Yes.
I mean, what the literal fuck?
They're standing in the front of their house with these guns. Mm-hmm. You're not even being threatened.
Mm-mm. I know somebody who lives in that exact neighborhood, and there was actually a picture of their family that was used for, I don't know if it was news or what it was, some sort of like media outlet. And they didn't have a problem with it. They were like, okay, well, it is a private street. Like, it's totally a private street. I've gone down that street before and not realized that it was a private street. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell until you get to the gate and you can't fucking go. But I think they opened the gate, right? The protesters, and decided to walk down. So you shouldn't open the gate, fine. But I've been through there and I didn't have a problem.
Is it right by, what is that? Is that Euclid? Like where the drunken fish and everything is? And you like walk down to the left towards all
close.
Those houses?
I think so. Yeah, it's close over there. Yeah. Because there's a lot of those you have the big black gates that you can't. There's no pass through, no street through. But these people
why do they open the gates? You can just walk around it.
You can. I know. I guess they just don't want through traffic like in a car. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the protesters did not get on anyone's yard. They were just in the private like neighborhood, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then didn't these two, the white, let's just say it's Cathy and Craig again. Mm-hmm. Cathy and Craig said they were having dinner and that they got scared by sitting on their front porch or some shit.
It was sunny as hell. Why are you eating dinner at that time? White people be eating hella early.
I don't eat dinner until like 8 or 9.
And I respect it.
I also am busy and I have 10 o'clock kids. Yeah, we're lucky. I'll be like, shit, I gotta walk the dog. I'll be back and then I'll make dinner. Like I got stuff going on. So early. Oh, my mom's like, I had dinner at 5. She's 82. You know.
We used to be outside, and my friend Jason, dad, he would do this whistle. It was so we could hear him like around the block. So he would do this whistle, and they'd be like, all right, like I gotta go home. It would be like 5 o'clock, and they'd be going in to eat dinner, and then they'll come back out, and we still be playing. And be like, how was dinner? He'd be like, it was good. And then I'm eating dinner at like 9 o'clock. Nigga, I don't know why you eating dinner so early.
It's weird. I know. I've never like that. I'm like, who eats dinner at that time? Like,
I'm still be hungry.
Kids haven't even eaten dinner. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be hungry as a mug. By 9 o'clock, I'm famished.
Snacking. Yeah.
Famished.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
But anyway, weird. I don't know, stupid people. But you know, those two were attorneys, attorneys, and so they're gonna get out of it. I don't know what the status is at this point, but
yeah, that thing's pretty wild though.
Yeah, it's bullshit. But they did get in a little bit of trouble, I think. But who knows if it went all the way through? I don't know.
It's just like that's unnecessary.
Yeah, psychotic.
Like, they're not. One, I don't get how people take Black Lives Matter and then twist it. And there was a video of, and I think it was in DC, where this white woman was painting over the yellow Black Lives Matter thing on the ground.
It's not illegal.
And I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
And it was a white man, he was recording, and he was just like, there's no oppression, there's no racism, there's none of this exists. It's just like liberal media twisting things to make it look like it's just lies from the left media. Yeah.
No.
This has been going on since before, my nigga, like the media, quote unquote, was even like a big thing. Like before there was television, there was racism. I don't understand how you could get that confused. People were enslaved, and people are still like being enslaved through the prison system. Like, I don't.
Do you remember the video I told you? It might have been on I Am Not Your Negro. I can't remember exactly where I saw it, but of the dude who owned, it was like all these kids swimming, all these black kids swimming. And because their day to swim was Friday, I think it was Friday. And because that was the end of the week, and that's when they were going to clean the pool. So all the white kids got to swim all the rest of the week. And the last day before they cleaned it, the dirty black kids got to go and swim, right? And so then the manager of this complex or the pool or whatever, white dude, walking through, like pouring bleach on them. And that, my friends, was in the media. Like so it's not a lie. Like that was back in the day. It was in black and white, but that was proof right there. Yeah. I think that could be racism. What do you think?
I think that could be racism. I have a hunch that
I have a hunch that you're a racist asshole.
No, yeah, I don't get people. I don't get people's thought processes.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is we're gonna try to keep it away from racism. It's not gonna be very easy because this is the episode about gun control.
It is. We always talk about racism, but so gun control, everyone, just so you know, it's a set of laws or policies that regulate the manufacture, sale, transfer, possession, modification, or use of firearms by civilians. So gun control obviously does not, it's only civilians. So what? Obviously not police. That's a problem. And some other situations, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's all kinds of stuff that I was learning. So I don't know a lot about guns. I did not, but I looked up what kinds there are, right? Handguns, rifles, shotguns, machine guns. And submachine guns. What? Yeah. That's psychotic. did you know that they're categorized according to their loading and firing mechanisms, their actions, automatic, semi-automatic, and how many rounds?
Mm-hmm.
All that seems insane. Like, who had to come up with all, well, probably for the war, right? But this is all crazy land. Like, submachine gun? What the fuck? Why do you need that? Like, why would a civilian need that nowadays? Do we know?
I would before like my opinion on gun control on guns, not gun control, but guns has changed.
Yeah, I know it has, but don't tell me yet.
I'm not gonna tell you. So I'm not gonna answer that question until later. Once we kind of get the information,
we gotta
and
get
then
the
we
info.
dive into our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, here's some more factoids. Okay, so based on a national survey, these are the following estimates of private firearm ownership in the U.S., but it's from 2016 to 2019, so obviously not this year. Okay, so 31 to 49% of households have a gun, and adults owning a gun, 21 to 36%, it says. So males, 43%, female, 17%, quite a difference.
Yeah.
White, 35%, non-white, 34%. That was shocking. Yeah. Republican, 45%.
I was just going to say 102%.
I know, right? Independent, 32%. Democrat, 16%. So that's a difference. So all these crazy Republicans. Okay. The reason people own firearms. Protection against crime, 63% said that's the reason. Hunting, 40%. Woo, redneck. 15% say recreation or target shooting. I don't know what that's weird. Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to kind of talk about why people like kind of like the nuts and bolts of like gun control, but then the difference too of people that are against gun control and people that are for it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so here's one thing. Okay. The minimum age to own a gun. Do you know what it is?
No.
21. Okay. So this is who's restricted from owning one. Fugitive. That's hilarious.
Makes sense.
People deemed a danger to society and patients involuntarily committed to mental institutions. People with prior felony convictions. You can't have a prison sentence of more than 1 year. You know, you've got 6 months in prison. You can still get a gun, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, they said this is the law. Okay. People who have been found guilty of unlawfully possessing or using controlled substances, marijuana. If you are in trouble for having marijuana, and I don't know how they're figuring that out now since everyone's starting to legalize it. Yeah. Okay, if you've ever had a restraining order against you. For harassment, stalking, or threatening, people who've renounced their citizenship. And then if you're like, oh, I'm from Greenland now, and then you're like, but wait, I'm back in the U.S. They're like, no, sorry, you can't have one. Unauthorized migrants, dishonorably discharged military personnel. I didn't know that one.
I didn't either.
He's like, dude, I've had a gun this whole time, and now just because you like what? Unauthorized migrants, people temporarily visiting, such as a tourist, it says. It's so funny. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay. So does federal or state government regulate firearms? Well, the Second Amendment serves as the legal basis for the right of people to keep and bear arms. Those state and local government can regulate their own residents. So, for example, carry guns in public, laws regulating who may receive or possess them. Those are all federal, but there's other things that the states can determine, I guess. Okay, so here's some weird stuff. This is so weird. Okay, so who sells firearms, right? So, well, usually you're a dealer, but you have to have a federal firearm license to sell, okay? And you have to be 21 years old. You have to have premises for conducting the business, and you have to alert a local law enforcement official at the time of submitting your application. You have to have a licensing fee that's $200, a 3-year period, and $90 for each 3-year period renewal. So these are the laws. None of this shit happens. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is there a background check? Yes. But there's some funny things. States may decide whether the background check is carried out solely by the FBI's National Instant Criminal Background Check System or a combination. So I've been checked through the National FBI database system, right? When I did adoption, you have to be checked. You get your fingerprints, and they send them off. That is an easy check. So your state, if you have really relaxed gun control laws, you can just say, yeah, you're going to go through this system. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't show everything. Like if you're not in the FBI's database, nothing's going to come up.
Yeah.
So maybe you were like in a mental institution for like 3 days. FBI doesn't know that shit. So how does that law actually work? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems very contradictory. It's really funny, actually. Okay. So do states require permits to purchase firearms? Only a dozen of the U.S. 50 states requires a permit. Okay.
Just found out.
There's a problem there too. Okay.
Yeah.
So do states require permits to carry firearms? Most states require permits to carry handguns. Concealed carry and open carry vary by states. Some states allow residents to carry handguns without permits. So again, we're getting real shady here.
Yeah.
Now this one, tell me if you know this one. What is the gun show loophole? Have you heard of that?
I don't think so.
Now this is where it really gets interesting. The law on selling, receiving, and possessing firearms is clear. Yet, not every individual providing the gun in a transfer requires to have the licensing the dealers have to have, right? Mm-hmm. So that means that not every buyer is legally subject to a background check. So this could enable guns to fall into the hands of users who might not be allowed to own a firearm. So anybody can sell a gun without the background check or without having everything that a dealer has to have. If you're selling it from your home, online, at a flea market or gun show, as long as you are not conducting the sale as part of a regular business activity. So say I'm like, hey, Marcus, I found 5 guns. I'm going to sell them online. I can do that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. One example also is like someone who sells a firearm from their own personal collection. If you give a gun as a gift. So I know you're crazy and I'm like, hey, here's a gift for you. Like, that's okay. That's a problem. Let's see. It says it's just like this big loophole on how like anybody can get a freaking gun. Anybody. Oh, it can be purchased on behalf of a third party as long as it is a gift and the recipient does not violate federal restrictions. Children younger than 18, they could have a gun if their parents gave it to them as a gift and gave them written permission. Like, okay, there are no gun laws. That's what I have to say.
Pretty much.
This is stupid. And I was reading through this, and Jason was like, oh, do you know about the loophole? Of course he knows. Freaking Encyclopedia Brown. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my God, I just looked up the loophole. He's like, yeah. He's like, there's like certain even like Republican conventions where they'll sell guns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's all a problem. Don't you agree?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so lastly, gun control advocates are concerned about high level of gun violence in the states and to look at restriction on gun ownership as a way to like get rid of violence. They are trying to eliminate crime, suicide, negative outcomes, right? But proponents of increased gun control argued that limiting guns, that it's going to save lives and reduce crime when, okay, I kind of messed it up because the first one, the advocates are saying that it can lessen crime, but like you're taking away the rights pretty much, right, to bear arms and to just protect yourself. But the proponents of increasing it are saying like, hey, let's try and save lives, reduce crime, but let's do that by taking guns away so that there's not so much crime, right? So I don't know. It's kind of a, like we said, it's a really like tough and like divided, I don't know, subject, I guess is the best word. But what do you think about all that craziness? I mean, it's funny. I don't know why there's a debate. It's fucking stupid.
So like my opinion on before I was like, yo, owning guns, stupid. Like nobody needs one. Like, no, there's no reason. My opinion has changed. So
yes.
my opinion on owning a gun has changed. My opinion on gun control has stayed the same.
Okay.
Gun control is a must. Like we need deeper background checks. We need stronger laws. Like nobody should be able to.
You need to enforce background checks. That's the problem.
Nobody should be able to go and buy a gun and get it the same day. Like it's not a banana. Like you should have to like, you could like buy. So if I bought a gun today, I need to get it like a week or two later after like a very deep background check has been done. Like, yeah, like if you have any hate crimes and stuff like that, all of that needs to be included in all of this. Owning a gun, I think that I don't think owning the gun is the problem. I think stupid people owning guns are the problem. Like idiots with guns are the reason like things happen. Like a gun's not just getting up and like walking outside and being like, oh, I'm gonna take you out today. No, right. It's like idiots going out with guns and you know, people not storing guns where they need to, and like really like taking gun safety and taking it serious. That's gun safety in terms of like, you know, like how to store it, how to keep it like it's safe from like your kids and stuff like that. And then also like dumb people, crazy people like having guns. Those are the two things that are really like the big issues that I feel like make people be like, oh, like we just don't need guns. I wouldn't say that we don't need guns, honestly, because like I'm be completely honest with you. I don't be feeling safe all the time. If somebody pulls up on me with a gun, like what am I gonna do? What, I'm gonna spit on them or something? Like what? You're not finna walk up on somebody with a gun and just like give them the hands. Like
right.
It doesn't work that way. So like, especially like living where I live now, like I be feeling like mad unsafe. Like people are crazy. So I be feeling mad unsafe. I was actually like, okay, because like when I move out, I'm gonna get me one.
No, you told me that, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I said like while I'm, you know, still living with my people, like I'm gonna get me a pellet gun, and I'm gonna just like, no. The reason for getting a pellet gun was to make sure that I trust myself with something like that, because like you can still shoot yourself with a pellet gun. It can hurt. Like really, you can shoot yourself in the eye. It'll take your eye out, kid. Like, but like you gotta like, yeah, like you gotta like change the like CO2 cartridge, and it's like you have to like maintain it kind of. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that would kind of put me in the right mind space, like with a gun, like cleaning it, you know, making sure like just like really like taking care of it the way that it should be, like learning gun safety and things like that. I would rather learn it with like something that could like hurt me, but it's not like super lethal. It is lethal, but it's not like you know, rather than like buying a gun like just straight out. I was like, I would want to like work my way up to it.
See, well, that, not surprisingly, is a responsible thing to come out of your mouth. That does not happen with the vast majority of people. Like you always have like a process and a plan. That's not the norm. You know, just like you even hear on like all these true crime shows, it'll be like, well, a day before he bought like 15 guns and now his wife is dead. And guess what? There's an insurance policy and that was changed a week ago. It's like, okay, really? Number one, red flags all around. Everywhere. But why did you get that gun so easily? And you are obviously having a mental issue, and then you killed your wife. So there's a whole ton of problems there. The other thing, I feel like when people pull out a gun, it just escalates things so quickly, and I just feel like it brings violence like right away. So like Craig and Cathy.
Yeah.
Why did Cathy feel like she had to like put a gun out? Like I have been in verbal altercations with people. I try not to be in verbal altercations, but I have before. But like, does it have to escalate to that point? I've actually thought before, like, oh gosh, like it could. Yeah. But why? Like, why does it have to? I just don't understand how, or like why that's how our society is. Like, why is that how the world is? What's a bigger issue,
I don't know.
I guess. But
I don't think I would carry either. I don't know if I would like carry it around with me or like ride around in the car with it, just because like I've been pulled over before. Mm-hmm. Well, of course. And he had like the cop asked me like, yo, like I was like, yo, like I had my plates were bad and I was like getting my stuff to go get them taken care of. Mm-hmm. And he pulled me over and he was like, yo, like, do you know your plates are bad? I was like, yeah, I actually just got a ticket for it yesterday. I'm going to take care of all this like right now. He was like, okay, like, can I see the ticket? And I was like, yeah, it's in my glove box. Like, do you care if I get it? And he was like, do you have like any weapons or anything like that? And I was like, no. But if I would have said yes, that would have made him much more nervous. Absolutely. And it would have made me much more nervous because I could be like, yes, I do. It's back here or it's over there. But he, in his mind, he'd be like, okay, like cops already are popping their gun holster open when they're walking up to my car. Mm-hmm. Then once they see that I'm black, they're like, oh, okay, like let me be on alert. Then once I say, oh, I have a gun, then they're really like, oh, let me be like on alert. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just I feel like it's not a good position to put myself in.
Right.
I would simply have one just for like home safety. Like if you break in my house, you're now invading my privacy. You deserve this. Like gotcha. I didn't put you in this position. You did. Like
right.
So yeah.
So not to take around with you like Cathy did, but to just keep as home protection.
Cause I don't know if it's like, of course, like if I'm out like and somebody pulls a gun on me while I'm out and I pull a gun out as well, I feel like
someone's gonna get shot.
Yeah, somebody's done. Like I don't feel like there's any more like talking at that point. Mm-mm. You know.
No, that's why I feel like things just escalate to like such a point of violence so quickly. Just even like those people yelling at each other. Like, okay, you can have words, you can freak out, you can like say whatever you want to say about people, but why did you pull a gun? Like, I feel like that was over the top.
Yeah.
Over the top. Were they physically threatening each other? Like, I didn't hear that.
That's what Tony Baker kind of was saying, like that they were like the threats were like really, really, that they were threatening her like really hard, her and her husband like really, really bad, and like that's why I brought up like what he said about like, do you pull the gun if you have a gun? Do you pull it pull the gun once you have already like been threatened, or do you pull the gun once they put their hands on you? And my parents always taught me like, don't be the one to start the fight.
Right.
So it would be the same thing with a gun, like almost like don't be the first one. Which sounds stupid. Don't be the first one to pull the gun, but it's like, okay, if I'm not the first one, then I'm dead.
Well, yeah.
And so it's just like,
I guess it just depends, and like because gun laws are so vague, like that's why I'm for like gun control. Is like just if you want to have guns, fine. Like my dad had tons of guns. Like okay, I'm like a walking contradiction to how I grew up because I am vegetarian, right? I like miss yoga, like all this crazy stuff, like all about like detox tea, all this shit, right? Don't wear fur, all of that. My dad, the way we made money in the winter, he hunted, trapped, and sold fur. Okay, I don't even know if you knew that, right? I
think you knew that.
Okay, so I mean, he had guns, but like I never saw them really or was around them because he had a gun case. Everything was locked up. Nobody could, it was in their room. You're not supposed to really be in your parents' room snooping around anyway, but everything was locked up. So it wasn't ever a strange thing. I think he did have one in the glove box, but that was never something like if we ever saw it, it'd be like, you never touch that. There's a rule. So I think as long as, you're doing things the right way and being responsible, but without the gun laws being what they need to be, like anybody can have it. So you don't know their mental state. And that's where it's scary, I feel like, because you're like, okay, well, I'm mouthing off to this person. I'm having an altercation. Are they going to pull a gun on me? And if so, like, does this validate me being shot? Because it could in their mind. I don't know. But that's why we have problems with gun laws.
Yeah.
Anybody can get it.
I don't even get into like arguments with people.
Oh, I know you don't.
Like, I will one, like, I don't, just because like
you're just not
confrontation is just, I'm not a big confrontation type person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my dad gets mad quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I always was like, I don't really want to let things like get to me like that. Right. That's just how he is. Like, and it's not like, he's not like, my dad's not like crazy or nothing like that. But like, he just gets like, he can go from like 0 to 10, like very quickly. Right. And things bother him. And when it bothers him, it's like, you know, and then my mom, and then my mom is like she's super patient, but like once she gets mad, she's mad, you know? So it's like they're almost like, they like almost balance each other in that way where like my dad is like, and if it bothers him, he's like, you know, even if it's not that big of a deal, you feel like he's yelling at you. He's just like talking loud. And my dad's side is very loud. They are. And so like, I was always like, I don't want to be like, super like just all the time like that. Like that, right. That gets on my nerves. I was even I even have this problem like with teaching the classes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like the kids, because you're not like yelling at them all the time or something like that, they try to like take that and like run with it. But like, I'm like my mom, where like it takes me a minute to get mad, but once I get mad, I'm actually like pissed off. Mm-hmm. And so I don't get into altercations or like big arguments or nothing like that, because one, people are crazy. People even before like guns were like super bad, and people just being crazy. Mm-hmm. Two, people don't want to fight no more. People just want to pull like a gun out on you and shoot. And three, it's just draining. Being angry is draining as a like.
It is.
It's not even gonna bother you like 3 days from now, or if it does bother you 3 days from now, a month from now, unless it's like some races might bother you, like something like that. Right. But like somebody cutting you off in traffic, you ain't gonna remember. Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, it is like, it's trying to like choose your battles, I guess, you know, but like not everybody has that like that in their brain to do that. Like I know somebody who was in a mental institution for like a week-ish because of some issues. That person later was able to get a gun.
Yeah.
So, and had a gun, which I don't think they should have had, because I don't trust their mental state. Yeah. I'm not saying they're completely crazy, but there's reasons why they were down this path, right?
Yeah.
So how is that? Like, I wouldn't trust that person in a second. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that, I just don't know why that has to be a debate to like for gun control. Like, they just think we're gonna take away everybody's rights, just like with wearing a mask. This person's like, I'm not gonna be muzzled. You're not being fucking muzzled. You're protecting other people, you asshole.
The dumbest stuff in the world.
Mm-hmm, so stupid. So it's just like that. It's like taking away any rights at all. It's like, that's not American. It's like, well, you know, America is having a serious problem, much more than most other country. Maybe we should look at that.
School shootings that we've had, there was like a stat. There was more school shootings in like a month in America than there was in like 2 years, and it might have been like New Zealand or something like that. It was France or something like that. Like it just and they did the same thing with like police brutality shootings and stuff. Like they were like they were just like measuring stuff as beat by like the amount of time that the police spend in the academy, or the amount of background checks and like things you have to go through to get a gun. Like they were measuring it by that, and they were putting beside it like the amount of school shootings or the amount of police brutality cases that they have, and it was like a drastic difference. And it's like Americans are so freaking lazy. You're that inconvenienced by having to get a background check and wait a little bit for your gun. Right. What are you about to do with if your gun
kill your wife?
Like what are you about to do that you need it tomorrow?
Kill your wife.
Like what exactly are you planning that you need your gun right here, right now,
right
today? Just buy a dog.
You even have to wait for a dog. You have to wait for a dog probably longer than you do a gun, which that's insane. But here's the story. Okay, so there's a guy who a man and a woman, their child was always showing a lot of interest in guns, right? Just really wanting a gun. And by the time he was like 14, they finally were like, God, fine, if we give him a gun, maybe he'll stop talking about it so much. Okay, well, that's bad parenting. But they gave him a gun. And they were like, you could not use this gun unless you're with dad, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, this dude ends up, and this is a big story, actually. He ends up killing his dad with the gun, killing his mom with the gun. His sister wasn't there. He'd probably kill her. Goes to school, shoots up his school, and doesn't care who he's shooting. Just shoots up the school. And so certain people died. Other people were injured, blah, blah, blah. But this shows like, okay, you can have a gun because your parents gave it to you and gave you permission, and then that's okay to, like, that's your right to bear arms. And then you go and you kill the people that gave you the gun plus your schoolmates when you're 14.
That's mad dumb stupid. You shouldn't be able to give somebody a gun as a gift. You might be able to give them like a certificate to a gun lesson or gun class. Then they might be able to like get the gun after that. I think it should be mandated that you have to you have to go to a certain amount of classes.
Agreed.
Like gun safety classes. You have to go through an extensive background check. Like there needs to be, again, I don't have anything against people owning guns unless you're crazy, unless you like you make me nervous once you need your gun tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
it should be as intense as it is to adopt a child as it is to get a gun. Like, why is that more? Like, any dum-dum can have a kid, right? So I had to go through like an intense, like, just everything, right? So you should have to do something like that if you're going to be able to have the, you still have a life in your hands. You have a lot of lives in your hands there. Many. So I think that needs to be as intense as that process that I had to go through to have one life in my hand, which is still, extremely important, obviously. But it's like, come on, guys. Like, let's go through some like counseling. Let's figure it out.
Something. People don't care enough about their mental health.
No, they don't.
To just like have, just like these free laws. And then people piss me off when things happen, like school shootings. When Sandy Hook happened and the Americans was like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. But then nobody wanted to change any laws about guns. Right. Or when the shooting in Vegas happened, where you heard like shells on shells, like doo, 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 doo. Like you hear that, and you hear people, you see and hear people ducking, hiding behind hiding under and behind cars and stuff like that. But you don't want to make any changes about laws.
Right.
Like that is the most I hate. Like it's just like with coronavirus. People's families are dying, like multiple members and stuff like that. And nobody wants to make any changes until it happens to them. Right. Then they're crying, oh my gosh.
Right. So I think what we're seeing here is a trend in America that we don't want any of our rights taken away. We're the land of the free. Well, the land of the free is fucked up. And everybody's getting away with everything and like just running wild, and not like coronavirus is increasing and spreading no matter what people want to say. It is. Hello, in Florida, Michigan. So I know somebody who went to a freaking Lake of the Ozarks last weekend. What are you doing? Didn't Texas. They just have to close some of that shit down?
Yeah, Texas. Texas just opened up and now it's about to close it down. Like,
yes. I mean, it's like, it's a real deal here. So it's like, we can't take away anything. You can't wear a mask. You can't get rid of your gun. Every single thing. Like, we have Donald Trump as our president. We are a laughing stock.
Literally.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Nobody wants to be inconvenienced. If you have to wait 2 minutes for your food at Rally's or Chick-fil-A, you're irate. Yep. If you have to wait a day for your gun, you're crying. If you can't get through an intersection because people are protesting, because people that look like them are dying, or people that don't look like them, just people in general are being killed on a large scale. Numbers don't lie. So I hate when people be talking about, oh, it's not true. It's liberal media. No, numbers don't lie. Men and women lie. numbers don't lie. If I can bring you facts and stats, shut up. So all these people don't want to be inconvenienced, but like people are losing their life. And once you or your family member loses their life, then you want to start caring. Mm-hmm. It's too late at that point. It's too late to start caring.
It's always that way, though.
And it doesn't make any sense. People are so freaking stupid.
It's selfish. It's a lot about being super selfish and just maybe, I think ignorance, I think a lot of people are just really ignorant, but ignorance is not bliss, everybody. So food for thought.
I also think that putting guns bring a certain type of like power to people. Like they bring this and I think when people are I think that's part of the reason when it needs to be like a deep like mental test, like all of that, because like when people are in a state of like where they're like just dealing with a lot of stuff mentally, and if they feel like below society almost, and you give them a gun, now they feel like they can walk tall, do whatever they want to just because they have this gun. I think that also contributes to like all these like killings and stuff like that. School
police violence too.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, you give a cop a cop a badge and a gun, and now they're
king of the world.
Yeah. So it's just
that's it's always like we see people like police officers who have a gun always, right? Mm-hmm. But it's shoot first, ask questions later all the time. And so that's like the mentality that's that prevails, I feel like, in society too. It's like, well, this is a threat, I'm just gonna pull my gun out. It's like I don't know.
Batman never went for like the strongest thing in his belt first. Like he might toss a batarang at you or something like that. He might hit you with the grapple and disarm you or something like that. But the cops always go to the gun. They got a whole safety belt of stuff. You got a flashlight, you got a stun gun, you probably got some quarters on your or something like that.
Are the quarters?
You just got you have other things that you could use, and they go straight for that gun because guns bring a certain type of just
power.
Yeah, and that's one of the other reasons that I want to get a pellet gun first. Because if I get a pellet gun and I'm feeling like high and mighty about myself, I'm not gonna get a gun.
Right.
Like, why would I? Because me and Jason, like we used to play with Nerf guns all the time. My mom never allowed us to like play with like pop guns or anything like that. Because she knew like if we were outside playing with that, we would definitely like get the cops called on us and possibly shot. But even more than that, like she just didn't want us to get used to them type of things. So we could play with Nerf guns and water guns as long as they didn't look like a real gun.
I have a side story on that one.
I got you.
So your mom and I are on the same page. Like even when Harper was little, I was like, no Nerf guns. And I'm like, okay, I'm being a sucky, like I'm being a freak. So the kids play with Nerf guns. They have all kinds. They have water guns. Fine. Yeah. But cap guns, all that bullshit, no. Okay. So I let Harper go and play at this little boy's house, little white boy. And by the time I come back and get him, which by the way, I think he played a lot in the front yard, which I am not a fan of. I was trying to not be that crazy mom, but I wasn't very far away, but I just don't trust it. My kids do not play in my front yard. Like it's not an option unless I'm outside with you, but whatever. So the mom was not outside at all. They played a lot in the front yard. They played in the backyard. Harper, when I went there to pick him up, he had like white powder like all over him. And I was like, what is on you? He's like, we'll talk about it later. I'm like, oh, for the love. So we start walking home and I was like, what is it? And he's like, I can't wait to save my money and get a capsule gun is what he said, because Harper has no idea. And I was like, a cap gun? And he's like, yeah, that's what we played with. And I was like, excuse me. Number one, didn't give you permission for that. Number two, as a parent if somebody's child is at your house, ask the other parent, can your child do this? Number three, they're white. My kid's running around the front yard with a cap gun, and he doesn't look like a 7-year-old. He looks maybe like a 10-year-old. I don't know. Maybe to a police officer, he looks like a 13-year-old. Maybe he looks like, a kid that's wheeling a gun around. And so what's going to happen then? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was not the right thing that should have happened at all. Like I should have been absolutely asked. But 2, I don't realize that like going to a play date at this person's house, which I'm trying to let him see a friend from school, because that white family doesn't have to think about the things that I have to think about, which I wish they did. They let my little black boy run around with a gun in the front yard, which at a place nobody knows who he is, could have escalated super quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just like what your mom is saying, don't get used to these things. Don't look like you're wielding a gun, because we've seen what happens when police see a child with a gun.
Yeah.
So,
this one gnat is just taking me out. No, yeah, I definitely only time I played with like BB guns, stuff like that, was at Jason's house.
Yeah, because he's white.
Yeah, and he had BB guns, and that wasn't he wasn't able to get BB guns until he was older.
Yeah.
But like it's before then, we played with Nerf guns all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to go into like one of the armed forces when I was younger as well, because my grandma was in, and I used to go to work with her all the time when I was younger. So like I was kind of around that environment already. So like I had an interest in guns like when I was younger, just like I just found them interesting. When I go play laser tag, I'd be serious as a mug. Like I'm tucking the laser tag in. I mean the gun, that gun in. Like I'm really capping you up in laser tag. All right, but yeah, like I said, like if I can't handle a pellet gun, like I'm not gonna get a real gun, because that's irresponsible of me to myself and to society. Like
agreed. But
I think people need to start thinking about other people more. Like
absolutely, but they don't, and I don't think they're going to change, because look. I mean, coronavirus is a perfect example that you used.
People are stupid. So
stupid. I mean, the U.S. is like leading in
everything bad.
Yes, perfect.
Like we're
great
like
summary.
We're like 321st in math, but in police brutality and killings, like we are number 1.
Yep.
Like
absolutely.
We are top of the board.
Yep. Gun violence, police brutality, racism.
Yeah.
Everything.
Stupidity, all of it.
Everything. Karens.
Yeah. Oh, definitely with the Karens. We are definitely top tier with the Karens. I want to go to a different country and see what racism is like in different countries.
Me too.
It's kind of like a weird thing to think about. Like, I want to go and try their racism. Like, I wonder what their racism really is. Is it a fine racism, or does it come with fries, or like what is it? Like that's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Is like racism is like wine. It's like how
does
what
this,
does theirs taste?
Yeah. How does this one sit on my palate?
Yeah.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
I want to too. It's so interesting.
It's like going wine tasting, but for racism.
There we go.
That's what I'm telling you.
All right. Well,
wonder
if anybody else wants to tell us their thoughts, let us know.
Please do. We are ready and willing to hear your thoughts on this topic. How do you feel about gun control? Do you own a gun? Well, how do you feel about the current status of gun control and like the gun laws and the procedures and all of that? What are your thoughts?
Have you been to a gun show loophole?
Yeah. Do you know about the loophole? What's up?
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we would definitely love to hear from you. So make sure you stay in contact with us. Visit our website at uhumanpodcast.com. That's the letter U, humanpodcast.com. Make sure you subscribe on our website. Subscribe on your listening source right now. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah.
And make sure you definitely hit up Greenwood District. Once again, that is Greenwood District, GREE. Just find it on our website, uhumanpodcast.com. And make sure you use that discount code UHUMAN. That's the letter U, human, at checkout. All right?
Yes, please. They have really cool stuff. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Once again, UHuman Podcast, the letter U, human pod. I don't know how many times I have to say it, y'all.
If you want to email us,
uhumanpodcast@gmail.com. I don't know what you want. All right, we giving you exactly what you want and what you need. All right,
we're brilliant.
Extremely.
All right. Until next time.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. And once again, I'm Marcus.
I am Mandy.
We out.